This is a paid advertisement for real estate related services brought to you by Family Home Helpers.
Welcome to this edition of Leading Experts. I'm your host, Patty Grabeau. Do you need to sell your home fast? Are your payments too high? Do you have no equity? Our guest today, Russell Griffard, specializes in helping Edmonton and area homeowners out of their tough situations. You'll hear from him and more when we come back on Leading Experts.
Welcome to this edition of Leading Experts. Leading Experts is informative and exciting. Leading Experts interviews authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs in all areas of business, so you become a much more informed consumer.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Patty Grabeau. If you need to sell your property quickly for any reason, you've hit the jackpot today. Our guest is Russell Griffard, owner of Family Home Helpers. Russell is no stranger to the construction industry, having received his journeyman ticket in benchwork and joinery at the young age of 21. He built his first home in 1985 and started investing in real estate in 1995. In 1996 and 1997, his education led him to become an instructor in benchwork and joiner, and he later returned to school, the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, in 2002 to receive his ticket as a master instructor. Combining his talents in construction and creative financing, he's earned quite a reputation as a master in buying, rebuilding, and then selling properties. Today, he's here to talk to us about his most innovative business, Family Home Helpers. Russell, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you for having me back, Patty.
Yeah, it's great to have you back again. You know, the name of your company says it all, Family Home Helpers. How did you start the company?
Well, just, those people have problems getting rid of their properties, as we all know, and there's people that have problems buying properties. So Family Home Helpers, we buy properties fast, whether they're acreages, houses, townhouses, condos, duplexes, it doesn't matter. We have creative ways of helping people relieve people of their properties. Right. And in the other instance, we have people that want to buy properties. They say can't get financing, they can't qualify for a mortgage. So I work as a mortgage broker,
Yeah.
And we help people repair their credit while they're living in their houses. So we buy these properties and we move people in on using creative financing to help out both ends of the
equation.
The pole.
Isn't that fabulous? I mean, you must have a lot of gratified customers.
Oh, very much so. We have lots of people in both ends. We have people that are making double payments on properties, can't get rid of them.
Which is horrible.
We step in, we take over, we make all their payments for them. And people who can't get qualified for a mortgage to a bank, and we help them repair their credit while they're living in a property. They've already moved in. We help them get their credit in order. Once they qualify, we get together, sign off on the final paperwork, and they become the owner of the property.
How is it that you buy all these houses, townhouses, duplexes, and condos?
Well, Patty, before we've decided to buy a property off somebody, we must first understand their situation. That we can decide what strategy will work best for them. Like in some cases, people may be 100% financed. So in this situation, if they're to sell their property using a realtor, they have to bring money to closing. Like, see, if there's no money in the property and a realtor sells for them, like the realtor needs their share. Like they get paid their 7% commission, and they should get it. They're not going to sell for free.
Right. Right. And it seems that people are in a multitude, have a multitude of situations going on right now, and you seem to be a problem solver for them, helping them in financial distress and people that need to sell their properties. Now, prior to the show, you were telling me about a very popular option called the lease option. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, please?
Sure I can. Like lease option, that's definitely our most popular strategy. So using the lease option, I'll lease option a property from, say, you as a homeowner.
Okay.
When I do this, I guarantee to make all your payments, such as mortgage, taxes, and insurance, as well as guaranteeing the maintenance of the property. Wow. So, for instance, let's say the toilet plugs up or the hot water tank springs a leak. You don't get a phone call. We look after it.
That's great.
Okay, and then when I get while I'm doing this, I move one of my tenant buyers, pre-qualified tenant buyers, into the property, and I help them repair their credit while they're living there. So once we get their credit repaired, we then buy the property from you. It's kind of like a simultaneous closing. I sell the property to my tenant buyer, and I turn around and I buy it from you. So until I have your property sold, which is surprisingly quick in a lot of cases, I make all the payments on your property and I guarantee the maintenance on the property. Try getting a realtor to do that.
Really? I mean, what a relief for people. What a relief,
Well, for sure it is.
honestly.
Double payments are eliminated.
Oh,
like
and-
we move in and we take care of the property
And you take
for
care of all, and plus the maintenance is what is something that really can kill people as well. I mean, can really eat into your
Well,
finances.
if you moved out of town, you have to pay somebody to maintain your property.
Right.
And what if, say that hot water tank springs a leak when there's nobody living there? Like what's it done to the interior of the house? And then try getting insurance on a vacant property. You know, that's another
It's tough.
seminar all on its own.
Of course, of course.
It's tough and it's expensive.
Right. But and what I think is so great is that you being a contractor yourself, you know so much about homes.
Yes.
You've worked in all different areas, from cabinetry to framing, haven't you?
Yes, I've had to look after those vacant houses. I've had to try
Right.
and insure those vacant
Right.
houses.
So therefore, you really have your thumb on the temperature of what goes on in a home
Yeah,
and
that's
what
right.
is needed.
That's right. I know what to look out for. I know what to inspect when I'm checking over a property.
Exactly.
See, when I buy the property off the homeowner, when I first take over on the lease option, we want to make sure that everything is in working order. Okay, I'm not going to move somebody to a property that needs a bunch of work. Like it can need paint jobs and stuff. I mean, that's all the cosmetics. That's usually fine. Okay.
Right.
But we make sure like all the electrical and the plumbing are all in good working order. The furnace works good. You don't want to move somebody to a property and turn on the heat and the heat doesn't come on. We
No
got to make
kidding.
sure things
Right.
work. You know, from Edmonton. Okay, we got to use our furnace once in a while.
Sure, sure. you can't turn it off. You can't turn it off at certain times.
You turn it
That's
off
right.
once in a while, but not
Sure,
often.
sure. And what about owner financing? Can you give us some examples of some benefits
Sure,
of that?
that's a great one. Like if you own your house 100%, we can then set you up with owner financing, which is almost like turning you into the bank. Okay, so we turn your property into an investment for you, and I can show you or anybody how in as little as 5 years I can help you earn anywhere from between $100,000 to $150,000 extra on your property, and then still sell for almost as much as you're originally selling for at the end of a 5-year period.
Wow.
So the first 5 years is almost money in your pocket, and then you'll still get your full retail price for it at the end of the 5-year period.
So there are a lot of advantages to that.
Oh, for sure. If you own a property 100%, we can owner finance it for you and show you how to make a lot of money off it.
And what condition does a property have to be in before you would consider making a deal?
Yeah, we're not really that concerned with the condition. Like I say, some people, we want to make sure, like I said, the furnace and that is all in working
Right,
order, okay,
right.
and the plumbing, electrical. But in most cases, they're new homeowners, and they're just so excited to move into this property. And they're willing to
Exactly.
paint it. They're willing to change the flooring, re-roof it, clean up the yard. They're just so excited, and they're so full of energy when they move into these properties.
Of course.
And which is also really beneficial for the homeowner. Because we're not moving renters in your property, we're moving a whole different class of people that are tenant buyers who want to become homeowners. So all they got in their head is, how can I make this house beautiful? This is my dream home.
They can have the dream.
Oh yeah. And so your property is looked after, and as well as we guarantee. Like I said, we guarantee the payments and the maintenance on the property. If
That's-
something does go awry, we're going to come back, we're going to
And
fix
you're
it.
going to take care of it.
That's right. We take
Like I
care
said
of it.
before, that is a relief, and that's something a realtor can't do for you.
No.
That's something. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about equity. Could you please explain what equity is, and can you give us an example of how people would use that?
Yeah, certainly I can. Okay, equity is the difference between what you owe on a property and what it's actually worth. So let's say, for instance, your house has a $350,000 market value, and you owe $300,000 on it. The spread is your equity. So in that case, you'd have $50,000 equity, which is another reason why you want to become a homeowner, because in some cases, equity is free. You buy into a property and the market value goes up, and all of a sudden that spread increases. So you may have only lived in a house for 6 months, and it may be worth like $20,000, maybe even $50,000 more.
Wow.
And we've gone through these periods, all over the
Right,
world, especially
right.
in the Edmonton area. I've seen people's properties almost double over a year or two. And that's money in your pocket. It's like money in the bank, cash
Right.
in your pocket, pretty much.
And you can use your equity for other purchases or for upgrading or whatever, correct?
Sure, you can borrow against it. You
So-
borrow your own equity of your own property and just pay it back.
So homeownership still is
It's
the key, the best
It's the
asset you can
Half
have.
your house is in as somebody else's, for sure.
Right, right. That is incredible. Now, Russell, if somebody has a property that they'd like to sell in any area, in any condition, in any price range, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, our number as well as our web address should be on the bottom of the screen. You contact us anytime. Contact us through our webpage or phone us. We'd be more than happy. We're always looking for properties. Always. That's what we do.
Right.
We're looking for properties, any area, any condition, any price range. But say, for instance, if it is, say, a multi-million-dollar property, that is out of the price range of family home helpers. In that situation, the Luxury Home Solutions Group will purchase a property from you. There's another company which I'm also affiliated with.
If you're just joining us today, my guest is Russell Griffard, owner of Family Home Helpers. Now, for clarity, Russell, you say that you buy properties, so you don't list them.
No, well, not for you anyways. Only a realtor can either list or sell a property for you. Like, we have to have an interest in a property before we can sell it.
Okay, good clarity. Now, what are the benefits of selling my house on a lease option, what we were discussing earlier?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, while doing a lease option with you, we guarantee all the payments and maintenance on your property. So once again, we'll pay your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, we look after everything, as well as the maintenance. So you can basically walk away, worry-free of your property, and once we get one of our tenant buyers qualified for mortgage, we give you a phone call, tell you we'll be going to closing in a week or two, and we sell your property and buy it from you at the same time.
It's just amazing. Like we'd said before, it must give people such great relief.
Oh, it sure does. Like, it's worry-free. You know it's being dealt with. You're not making payments on it in the meantime. It's all being looked after. And it will sell. But I can't guarantee it's going to be sold next week. But
No.
like some said before, sometimes it sells incredibly fast. We get people in, some of our tenant buyers, they have no idea what their credit's like. And we run their credit, and sometimes in a matter of like a month or two, easily we get them qualified for a mortgage.
You
it's
can
done.
help them with their credit then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the tenant buyers, we help them repair their credit while they're living in a property. We pre-qualify them first. So we make sure they're making their required income, they have a good job. We got to make sure they're not deadbeats.
Right.
So these are people that actually pay their bills.
This is your reputation.
That's right. Like, they may have had problems in the past, but it's easy when you pull someone's credit to see how they're progressing. They're definitely working towards a goal. So we help them out. Like, lots of people don't know how to repair their credit.
Right.
I remember back in the day, as a credit is. How do you get your credit? You're always nervous. You walk in the bank. Will I qualify? Won't I qualify?
Right.
Well, we take care of all that for them.
That's wonderful. It's a win-win for everyone.
It is, definitely.
What's the advantage, or would there be an advantage of selling my home by lease option over listing it with a realtor?
Yeah, well, for starters, a realtor's not going to make your payments.
Okay.
They're not going to cover your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance. They're not going to guarantee the maintenance of the property. We look after all that. We're not putting a renter in your property. A lot of people are worried about we're putting in renters, and renters don't look after properties. But the people we install in your property are tenant buyers. They want to buy your house. Okay, so they're moving into their future house.
Into their home.
Yeah, it's not your house. When they move in,
Right.
they think of it as their house, and they're just putting in time until we get them qualified for the mortgage.
And when you rent your home, you don't. It's not like you said. They have no ownership. They have nothing vested except for the check that they're paying per month.
That's right. Sometimes you get good renters.
Oh,
you get
sure.
lucky.
Oh,
And sometimes you
sure.
get bad renters. So it works both ways. A lot of cases
It can
you
be
get
a
the bad renter.
catch-22. It can be a catch-22.
They've got nothing in their property.
Absolutely.
They got a damage deposit they may or may not get back. And a lot of people know they're sacrificing that damage deposit before they ever move in anyways.
Right. And in this way, they're just clear, and they have people come in who, like you said, feel like it's their property because it is going to be their property.
They just want to make it prettier.
Absolutely.
Build equity while they're living there.
I love it. And how does Family Home Helpers make money off all these deals? I mean, you don't have sales commission, do you?
No, there's no sales commission. Like if we agree selling your property, let's pull a number from the hat here, say $330,000 is the price we agree on, your property, you get $330,000. There's no sales commission here. Okay, now the way Family Home Helpers makes their money is we increase the sale price to our tenant buyers.
Okay.
So once again, we want to get a fair price from you, so we can increase the price, get a chunk in there for ourselves, of course, and still pass on a good deal to our tenant buyer. Let's make it a good deal right across the table,
Great.
and do lots of them. You're not looking to retire off one property by all means.
No.
We just want to do a whole bunch of little deals, make a whole bunch of deals, make a little bit of money off each deal.
Sure. And I love that you do all different kinds of properties. It's not just homes, but it's duplexes and condos and townhouses as well.
Everybody wants everything different. Like when we set them up on a lease option or say our tenant buyers to move in, they'll have a specific requirement or need. They know what they want. They know the area they want to be in. They know how many bedrooms, bathrooms do they or do they don't or need a garage. Everybody's requirements are different.
Sure.
So we move these people in, not just taking anything they can get. Looking for specific properties. So we do our best to help them find that property and move them. We want them to be happy. Like the big goal is make sure they like this house. Don't move in somebody into a house they don't really care for. Make sure they're excited when they move in. It makes a big difference.
I'm sure it does, and I bet you love giving people the keys to the house.
Yeah. Usually early.
Oh, that's great.
It's just fun handing those keys over. Here you go.
I'm sure.
And
I'm
they're all
sure.
excited.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone loves moving into a new home, or just to know that your home, your house at home is your castle, is it not?
It is. Like, I've gone back to visit some properties a month and a half later down the road for whatever reason, go visit people, and there's new paint jobs.
Oh,
the
that's great.
basement's almost been totally finished. Like, they just go crazy on it. They just go crazy.
That's great.
And I don't realize when they're doing this, they're building a ton of equity into their new property. Because like the price I give them, that price remains throughout the lease option. So in case some people don't know what a lease option is, that's actually a rent-own. Lease option is a legal term for rent-own. So we lease the property to you or from you. Either we're going to purchase it in the future.
Okay.
Right? We're always looking to make that purchase as soon as possible.
To make as soon as possible.
Yes.
Now, what happens if someone has a home that they want people traipsing all through their houses? What do you do in that situation?
Yeah, well, you know, Patty, I don't know any other way I can sell your property. I mean, like,
Get your magic ball out, right?
That's right. I mean, we got to traipse the odd person through your house, right? I keep it down to a bare minimum. Like, I pre-qualify the people on the phone. So most cases,
great.
I probably get rid of about 90% of the phone calls, at least 95% of the people that call me up on a specific property. I pre-qualify them on the phone to find out if it actually does work for them or not. There's a lot of questions asked, like, as far as their income's concerned: bathrooms, location, bedrooms, garage, no garage, fence, not fence, decks.
Wow.
It's a lot. So by the time I ask them all these questions, I pretty well qualify them right of the property. So the most to date that I've traipsed anybody through a house, or just couples, I'm up to 4 people now, like 4 different couples. That's the most I've ever taken through somebody's house before I've actually moved in a tenant buyer and signed a deal on it.
That is amazing, because when you think about it, if you go with a real estate company, oftentimes there'll be open houses and things, and my goodness, you can have hundreds of people go through your home.
Oh, for sure. Yes, for sure. And we don't do open houses. I just pre-qualify them out on the phone.
Pre-qualify
And if that house doesn't work for them, I add them to my buyer's list. Okay, I find out what they do want. I don't just hang up on them. I find out what they do want. I get their email address off them, so I add them to my buyer's list, and then we try and find them a home in the future. Or sometimes their credit is just too bad. Okay, it's just so messed up. I know that I can't get them qualified for probably at least a couple of years. That's way too long. We don't want to drag these processes out any longer than we have to. So I guide them what they can do to help prepare their credit in the meantime. I keep them on the buyer's list. So we'll give them some ideas, like, say, a prepaid credit card. It has to be through certain banks that report to the credit bureau. Okay. So we help build their prepaid credit card, or we'll get them to buy RRSPs. There's certain things that doesn't really cost me any money. They use that credit card. It's their own money. They're not throwing out the door.
Right.
And this helps them build their credit in the meantime. So we're getting them, say, kind of pre-qualified. So a year or so down the road now, if they do what we ask them to do, their credit's in much better shape. And we find a property now that'll fit them, or a house, condo, duplex, whatever, that'll fit them better. Now we can move them in. And within the next 6 months to a year or so, we'll get them qualified for a mortgage, as long as they stay on that track.
Wow. You are really fulfilling your mission with Family Home Helpers.
Yes, I am.
You really
That's what it's all
are.
about.
You're helping
it's about
people.
helping families.
That's really neat. I think that's really, really cool. But why wouldn't I just want to sell my house by myself?
Well, you know, Patty, if you wanted to, that's always an option, of course. If you know how to pre-qualify people, you know what kind of a credit score you need to get them qualified. If you deal with realtors, you deal with mortgage brokers, go ahead.
Right.
If you can do it.
Right.
There's a lot to it. I thought
there is a lot to it, and it looks like it would be an incredible win-win for someone to come to you. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, it's like a full-time job. To sell your property yourself is a full-time job. Some people, I'm not saying you can't do it.
Right.
I mean, education is everything, right? You learn how to do
Absolutely.
it, you can do anything.
Now, if someone has a property and they're in a tough situation and they need to move it right now, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, you should see my phone number as well as my web address at the bottom of the screen right now. And I'd be more than happy to get a call from you anytime. You can contact us anytime, of course, through the web address. And if we don't answer the phone when you call, make sure you leave a message, because a lot of times we're just on the other line.
Right.
You know, make sure you leave a message and we will contact you. I mean, this is our business. We help people out of their properties. We help people move into properties.
That's great.
Without you, we don't have a business.
If you're looking to sell your property, you must be intrigued by my guest today. Russell Griffard is someone you need to know. I would like to ask about bankruptcy. Can you help someone who has declared bankruptcy?
Yes, we can. We've helped a lot of people that have declared bankruptcy within the last 2 or 3 years. And within a year, we'll get them qualified for a mortgage.
That's great.
It is great. The mortgage broker I work with, she's a specialist at repairing people's credit. It's amazing what she can do. Anyways, we get these people into the property, we help repair their credit, we make them a homeowner, and then the homeowner, the original homeowner, gets their money. They get paid for on the property.
Oh, that's so wonderful. What a great blessing, I'll tell you. Now, what are the pros and cons of selling a home the traditional way versus through family home helpers?
Well, you're hard on me, Patty. That's a big one. Okay, well, for starters, I'm going to offer you some information I'm sure no realtor ever has.
Okay.
Okay, for starters, let's say, like a lot of people will say FSBOs, they're for sale by owners. You decide to sell your own property, like we're talking about earlier. Okay, in most instances, after about 2 or 3 months of trying to sell a property themselves, people will end up hiring a realtor, okay? Let's say that the property they're trying to sell is worth $100,000. Keep the numbers easy here.
Okay.
And their payment is $1,000 a month. Okay, so they try selling their property for 2 or 3 months, and it doesn't sell. They've just spent $2,000 to $3,000 on payments while they're trying to sell their property.
Exactly.
Then they hire a realtor to list it. So now the realtor is going to want 7% to list it. That's another $7,000. So let's say if things work out well for him and he gets him or her, and they get your property, they find a buyer for your property in the next 2 or 3 months. Well, that's another $2,000 to $3,000. And then now let's say the buyer they find, they don't want to take possession for the next 2 or 3 months before they want to move in. There's another $2,000 or $3,000. And then you have your closing costs on top of that, okay? So if I'm doing my math correctly, we're between $15,000 to $17,000 that people don't even realize you're paying. It just adds up, and that's only if the realtor gets your property sold. Now, they may not get it sold, and I guess in approximately 33% of the cases, properties never get sold.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, people just pull the listing, they give up, the property doesn't sell, and sorry to say they end up renting it.
Oh my goodness.
That's why we get a lot of rentals on the market.
Right, but just think about that. That $17,000, if they pull their house off the market, they've just wasted $17,000.
Yeah, that's right. It's gone anyways. But if we take over on your property, you're not wasting $17,000. So we're going to make all your payments, and you're not going to pay any sales commission. We cover all that.
Wow.
So that money's gone. So we agree on, say, the $100,000.
Correct.
Using the example, when we get your property sold, we're not selling your property. We're going to buy your property and place a tenant buyer on the property. But you receive your $100,000. No sales commission.
Wow. And no $17,000 lost as well.
That's right. People just don't realize that. I've sold properties with realtors. I never ever added up. I never thought of that. Like every month I'm paying on this property.
Right.
It's costing me money. Then I pay the realtor.
Wow.
There's another $7,000.
What if the tenant buyer doesn't buy the house?
Well, in some cases that may happen, and in some cases it has. Like, life gets in the way sometimes. Let's say, for instance, our tenant buyer gets a job transfer and has to move to Calgary.
Right.
What good is it going to do in buying a house in Edmonton? They've called me. I had this happen. People called me up and said, "Listen, Russell, we're so sorry. We can't buy the property. I got a job transfer. I have to move to Calgary." It does happen. It happens, But in the meantime, if you're the property owner, we continue to make your payments. We continue to maintain the property. We install another one of our tenant buyers in your property. Like, the end goal here is to get your property sold. Okay. That's a worst case scenario. It's only happened. That's happened 2 times so far. But this can happen. But we've never missed a payment. I've never missed a payment on anybody's property. Keep everything ripped apart and get that house sold.
That is quite a reputation to have.
Yeah, it's good, and it makes you feel good.
Absolutely does.
Sure.
And when you think about it, if your house goes into escrow and you're with a realtor and they fall out of escrow, you don't have anyone making those payments for you.
No, you don't.
You're making those payments and you're having to pay the maintenance and pay everything else until you get another person to make an offer.
That's right. We guarantee it all on paper. It's all guaranteed on paper until we get your property sold. But let's say these people get a job transfer, they're moving up to Calgary now, and you decide as a homeowner, listen, Russ, we want to move back in, or say my brother's kids want to buy the house. This situation changed, right? If something like that does happen, we will rip up the contract. We'll give you back your property, and you continue on, do whatever you want to. Maybe you just want to rent it on your own. Who knows? Like, everybody's situation is different. But I've got somebody in a property, I don't mess with that deal. I protect you as a homeowner, and I protect them as a tenant buyer. I make sure they can't hurt you and you can't hurt them. And if everybody's clean and tells the truth, we make sure everybody tells the truth. It all works out every time. Everybody's happy. They get what they want. Like, say, if something like that did happen, I will hand over your property back to you. I'll give you back your keys, and we'll eliminate the contract. It's simple. If we agree it's over, it's over.
Well, you're a man of your word, I'll tell you that. That's really incredible. Yes. That's really, really good to know. And how do you really determine the fair market value of a home?
Well, the fair market value, I have realtors I work with, and I trust them 100% on this. They do a competitive market analysis. So what they do, we're not looking at what properties are listed for. in the basic area, because you can list your house wherever you want to.
Right.
It's what they sold for.
What they sell for.
Yeah, so we go like the age,